Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today is going to be my August TBR, showing you all of the books that I plan to read in the month of August. Now, I'm doing something a little different. I decided August is going to be the month that I do a series focus, do a reread focus. In this case, there are 3 books in this series that I have already read. Then many years later, 2 newer books have released that I haven't read yet. So it's going to be focusing on a series, but I think in the future of, like, let's say I get through all the series I've ever read. Chances of that happening, who knows? I will just focus on rereading books, because if I give a book higher than a 3-star, that means I want to reread that book in the future, and I only think there is something you can take away from each reading experience. There's books that I might have gave a 4-star the first time I read and then give a 5-star second time around. Usually when I've reread a book, I give it a higher rating the next time around. I don't know why that is, but I do think timing is very important with reading, that maybe that just wasn't the right time for you and years later might be that right time. But let's see which series, which books are getting the spotlight this month. And make this very simple and tell y'all that The Hunger Games is the series, and that's it. Because how am I going, well, one, this series is so influential in young adult sci-fi, fantasy, those kind of books, so influential that it can, everybody tends to know what it's about. So I'm going to talk about just my experiences of when I read these books for the first time and what they mean to me. But I will tell y'all what this series is about. So I am about halfway into the first book of The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Now I know my dust jacket's a little beat up. I've had this book since like 2011, so it's been around. It's had some time on its hands. It's gotten kind of dirty. I think I spilt something on it, but luckily the inside pages were fine. So what is The Hunger Games about if you have no idea? It is about, there was like nuclear war that, wiped out the majority of the planet. So Panem is the country where the United States used to be. Now there are 12 districts. There were originally 13. District 13 rebelled against the government and, they were like nuked into oblivion. Now there is a game every year where each district must send a girl and a boy to these games. These games are where children, teenagers, have to fight to the death, and that is just to say, keep them in control, being like, we could do a lot worse to your kids if you rebel. This is about taking down a totalitarian government. That is what the series is about, rebelling and all of that. And this one, I've really seen like the eat the rich kind of thing of all these people on the top are living their best lives when everybody else, like, that little percentage of the people on top, and then everybody else down the social pyramid is struggling. They're trying to survive, just trying to get by day to day. And that's kind of like what the games are. You're trying to survive. You're trying to make it to the end to be that person on top. And is that even possible in real life? Like with the people who are in the games, is that possible? Can you make it to that 1% of the population kind of thing? But I do want to now tell y'all about my experience with these books. So I read this originally, I don't know if it was 2011, 2012. Social media wasn't as big as it is. I got Instagram around when the hype was really big, but I don't know. I think I read this a little bit before. I was on some kind of school break. I don't know if it was winter or spring, but it makes me lean winter because I was with my grandma for like 3 days, or more so she was with me at this house that I'm at right now. And I don't even know where I heard about the book. I feel like I heard that this movie was coming out, and that's what made me pick it up, because I was a Liam Hemsworth fan, because The Last Song was like my favorite movie. So I think that I might have heard about the movie, that they were making a movie, and that's what made me pick up the book. Or maybe somebody at school had read the book, because once we all got into this, we were into it, and we're going to get into that. But I was in 6th grade, I know that, and I read the book in 3 days, which now it's been taking me like over 4 days. I've been reading like a quarter a day, but on Saturday I was busy, so I wasn't able to get into it. But these chapters are quite long. They're like 10 to 15 pages, and me now, I'm just like, no, I don't want a long chapter, so I have no idea. But again, social media wasn't as big. I do think I had a smartphone at the time. I know I had an iPod Touch actually. So there was things, you know, like electronics and everything, but again, it wasn't as prevalent. Internet wasn't as great, the connection and everything. So there wasn't as many distractions, but I read the book in 3 days, sitting on the couch in there with my grandma, and I was just devouring it. I was loving it. And I made everybody else read it, I guess, or maybe somebody made me read it. I don't know. But the next book is my favorite book in the series, or was, you know, back then, because I have not reread these books until now. And that is Catching Fire by Susan Collins. And actually, when I first read this, I read this in paperback, but I then went to get the hardback so all of them would match. And I actually, back in 2018, when I was clearing my bookshelves and everything, donated my original paperback copy to the public library. I don't know if it's in circulation now or if they put it to their store, if they threw it in the trash, but it's one of my biggest regrets was donating my paperback copy of The Hunger Games. It grinds my, I get really upset. So the next book in the series is Catching Fire. I'm not going to go into the plot in case you haven't read the first one. But this one, everybody, or I'm not going to say everybody, but a ton of people agree this is one of the best book to movie adaptations. And this is where one of my favorite characters is introduced. I actually have a poster of him up there, Finnick Odair. There was this series, like this little YouTube series that these people had made of Finnick and Annie, and I really wanted the guy in this YouTube series to be cast into the movie, but like now I like no, that's not gonna happen. Sam Claflin was casted into the movie. I'm gonna say I'm majorly attracted to him because like in this we were like, oh my gosh, Finnick Odair is beautiful, because he's like, why do you find this distracting? And we would always do that on the playground. And like his sugar cubes, we were obsessed with Finnick. Like we called ourselves Finnick addicts, but it's like Finnick addict is what would be the right word, but we were kids and didn't know how to pronounce that. But yeah, we were obsessed with Finnick Odair. So I was kind of disappointed by the Sam Claflin casting, but I do really like Sam as an actor. I do think he's a good actor. He is always in adaptations, but this was actually the first book I ever wrote a review of. Now this was in school, so don't go like scouring Goodreads or anything, but when I think back on it, I wrote like a 5-page review. So we were told to write what the book was about. I did a spoiler-filled one and wrote literally every single thing that happened in this book and then what we like about it. And I'm just like, that's not how you write a book review. So it's kind of embarrassing looking back on that is how I wrote a book review. But, you know, I was, 11 or 12 years old. I think I was 12. But yes, this was my favorite one. I saw the movie. Now, I don't know if I saw this movie. I don't remember when it came out. So I know I saw one of the movies with a group of girls from my middle school. It was when I switched school. I graduated elementary school, went to middle school. And I saw it with a bunch of those girls. I don't remember which one that was. And then the Mockingjay Part 2 I know I saw with my like high school friend group. I don't know if we were in high school when it came out yet, but I saw it with them. And oh my gosh, so I'll get Mockingjay out since that's the one we're talking about now. There was this guy who like had his foot out in the aisle, and we were all just laughing about the foot is what we called it. But okay, back to the book Mockingjay. This is one that I don't think is a lot of people's favorite. It's very different than the other two. Yeah, this one is the one that is definitely like the black sheep. Very different than the other two books in the series. Really focusing on the rebellion aspects, in my opinion, from what I remember. But we went, when I was again, in 6th grade, we went on a field trip to it was like a farm, like a strawberry patch is what I'm kind of remembering. But they had this big dirt pile, and I did have Instagram at this point, and on my old Instagram, which y'all can't see because it's on private and all that, but I might insert pictures if I can find them, but there was this big dirt pile, and we were all like, this is the arena, and we're going to have our Hunger Games here. Obviously we weren't killing each other, but kids playing, and it was so much fun. It really felt like we were in the Hunger Games. It was great. Also with one of these, my friend was like the public library, we love them, we're having a Hunger Games day. So I went thinking she would be there, and she wasn't there. And I guess I was better with strangers back then than I am now, but it was me and a bunch of other kids, and we did like Hunger Games crafts and Hunger Games trivia. It was a good time. Me with a bunch of kids I didn't know. Yeah, the Hunger Games. This was an era, and I can't whistle, and that's like the da na na na, and they do like the three fingers. Like I couldn't whistle. And there was another time, when the trailer for the first movie came out, I had Webkins. Webkins are life, you know, and I made the Webkins recreate the Hunger Games trailer. Now, those videos might not be on private, so if they're not, I will link them. And then like kids from middle school found it and asked me about it. I was like, I don't want to talk about it. It's embarrassing. But no, I'm like really proud of myself. I like memorized the trailer and I still remember lines from it. And when I was reading them in the Hunger Games book, I was like, yeah, I remember these quotes. And do y'all remember there were like parody books like Hunger Pains or something? Like that's crazy. You don't really see that for the popular books nowadays. Maybe there are Fourth Wing parody books, I don't know. And then like parody videos online, the what are you wearing, who are you wearing, that one I think is Hillywood Productions or something is what they're called. I love that video. I watched it like all the time. And I had those songs I downloaded on my iPod. I obviously had the movie because they had like Taylor Swift, they had I'm blanking, but the Safe and Sound, I think that's Taylor Swift. That the Civil Wars was a band on it. Yeah, I loved it. I loved it, loved it, loved it. So there are two books that have came out in recent years, and it's like people say when Suzanne Collins wants to make a point, she will, and like they're very like critiquing government. I don't know because I haven't read them, but the first one here is the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. I did pre-order this. That's why I was seeing if it had like a poster inside. But this is the one that's about like President Snow and his backstory. This one is very thick. I would say it's the biggest in the series. But I don't actually know. I didn't check the page numbers. But I have not read this one. And I was really hesitant when these started coming out. Because I'm like, why mess with a good thing, you know? The movies have me very like... I don't know about this. I don't know about it. Don't know about it. Like, I'm very intimidated, but we will see, because I will be watching the movies after I read each book, and all the ones I've talked about so far do have a movie adaptation, or Mockingjay, which has two. You know, back then, after Harry Potter, everybody had to do the part 1 and part 2. So I have not read this one. And now, if you're familiar with my channel, I do have a book club, and if you guys would like to join, it is always linked down below. It's completely free, but we go into spoilery chats about the books that we're reading and everything. So if you want to be a part of that, feel free to join, because I really want people to join. I have so much fun talking to people about books. It's just a good time. Oh, I forgot. I did, in 2013, I was not allowed to go trick-or-treating. But my church had a trunk or treat, so I invited a friend and I went as Katniss, and it was so hard finding pieces to put this costume together. I got like green jeans from Guess, I think is the brand. I got a leather jacket. I had like a District 12 shirt. I had the Mockingjay pin. I even had a fake bow and arrow, which I didn't bring with me to the trunk or treat, but I went to, it's like Halloween, like Illumination City or something. It's in like Fantasy Harbor in Myrtle Beach, if you're curious. But yeah, I used to be on the right side of the road, but now it's on the other side of the road. I don't know why they switch locations, but yeah, I had this whole, I had combat boots, and I felt so cool. But again, I wasn't allowed to go trick-or-treating at that point. And I went to the trunk or treat at my church, and it was a lot of fun. The hayride, I think we hit a car on the hayride. The hayride did. Like, you know, just kind of bumped a car in the parking lot, but like kids were chasing us on that, and it was just so much fun. I do have pictures of that on Instagram, but you can join the book club to see the picture that I shared. But yes, I had so much fun with all of that. So now the book that is our book club, I said all that because I shared the pictures on the book club. So if you want to see them, go to that link down below and they're there. But this is the one the book club's doing. This is the newest book in the series. It came out this year, and it is Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. Again, I have the Target one, so there's bonus exclusive content, whatever that means. Sometimes it'll just be a playlist, and I'm like, cool, that gives me so much. So this is about Haymitch's games. Haymitch is the mentor for Katniss and Peeta in the original series, but he is their mentor because he has been to the games before. He won the games before, and this is his story in this one, which he has been like the most intriguing character to me in the first book on reread. yeah, just that's something that's been great, seeing these layers that these people have that maybe as a child you didn't pick up on. I think is obviously suffering from PTSD, and that is what led him to alcohol and all this. I don't know though, but that's just my interpretation of it. But this one is his story, and I am really intrigued. I really want to know about his game. So this is our book club book of the month. Now I am reading the books in publication order, which is this order right here. So I voted for the Hunger Games to be the one that we read, but that I was in the minority there, and the majority voted for this one. So I'm not going to be reading this till the end of the month. I have to get through 4 other books before I get to this one. So hopefully I do get to it. Like, I will. It's on a pedestal, you know. I am really trying to get into all those. But those are my memories of the Hunger Games and the books just that I'm going to be reading this month, and my thoughts on the new ones. This one is having a movie adaptation made. I don't remember what year it's coming out. The cast has been announced, but I don't remember when it's going to be out. But it's not out yet, so we'll just have to see. But those are all the books that I plan to read in the month of August. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you made it all the way through, leave a beach emoji in the comments below. I know, very random. But as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. And don't forget to ring that notification bell to be notified when all my videos go live. I'll see you in my next one. Bye! If you are familiar with my videos, you're used to seeing Sherman at the end of them. Sadly, Sherman has since passed away, but I would still like to encourage you guys to help your local shelters. Sherman was at the Darlington County Humane Society in rural South Carolina. I always have their link down below in the description if you guys would like to help them, but also help your local shelters as well. You can do that by donating, sharing posts like this one, volunteering, fostering, and adopting, which it's great to do all of those things. Great to help your community, great to help the animals in your community, and I cannot recommend it enough. All of my pets were rescues. They were strays or from animal shelters, and I love them so much, and I know how much love they can give, so knowing these pets at the shelter can equally give that much love, it's amazing. And y'all should totally take part and help out those local animal shelter pets, and please help them.